Hello, and welcome to the Passion Driven Pioneers interview series. I am your host, John Channon, and today I'm joined by Jaden and Erica Peck, who are the co-founders of Mississippi River Flavor Company. Jaden and Erica, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Would you like to start us off with a brief background as to who you are, what you do, and the business that you're in?
Sure. So we started our business back in 2020 during COVID time. We were laid off from our work in education and being Air Force veterans and cooking while we were in the Air Force in the missile fields. We kind of thought, well, maybe we could do something along those lines. We didn't want to just sit around and wait for COVID to get over with or anything like that. So we've always made spices for ourselves and mixed them together for people as gifts, and thought, well, let's give that a shot. It's a pretty big industry, and we might have a pretty good chance with it. So we put together samples and sent them out to. We had about 200 samples. We sent them out to quite a few people, friends and family, and they loved them. They said they were great, and it kind of took off after that. We started with 4 flavors, and those did well. We did our first farmers market with 12 flavors, and people really took to it. And being local and veteran owned, people really were drew to that, and it went really well.
That's really great. So both of you were in the Air Force, I think you said?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for your service, obviously, and thanks for doing that for us. So you mentioned, this was born out of COVID. You guys had worked in the educational system, but why spices? Why was it spices that attracted you for this type of business?
I think just culinarily, having been through training and been through, culinary school and things like that, it's something we've always done. And the food industry revolves around flavor. And sometimes those flavors aren't exactly as healthy as they should be. You look at different seasoning companies and things like that in the stores, they have a lot of stuff that's unnecessary, additives, preservatives, things like that. Everything we make is all natural. And the healthy aspect of us for that is huge. So I think that's something that really kind of pushed us to do that. We've always talked about restaurants and starting little coffee shops and things like that, but we thought maybe starting small with spices was a good way to go. And so far, it's been really successful.
It felt low risk to us, and something that we knew.
That's great. I think you also said you guys really got started at kind of the first farmers market. And tell us a little bit about that experience, getting ready for it. What did you need to do to prep? I think you said you had 12 different flavors that you brought to that market. Talk us a little bit about through that process, and then what that farmers market did for you and your business.
A lot of it was networking. Like, we did not know anything. So we got a cottage food license, which licensed us to prepare things in our homes. We networked to find out, who was running the farmers market, if our product would be sufficient, would be sought after. And so we kind of just went there with very low expectations. And we handed out samples, we taste tested, we got a lot of feedback from people. And what's nice about having a small company is we're able to adjust our recipes and play around with things a little bit more to meet our customers' needs. So it's not as a one size fits all type thing as your larger corporations would be. So yeah, it was really great. We started in Lake City, and the community just kind of came out and welcomed us. And I think by the end of the first farmers market season, we had at least 20 different flavors.
Close.
And he always has so many ideas. So it's very easy for him to come up with all this stuff. And yeah, we experiment with flavor. We try it on different things. We bring our kids into it, have them play with flavors with us and experiment with it and see what they like, what they don't like.
And being our first farmers market, I mean, we didn't know what to expect with, how many flavors to bring or how many bottles of each flavors to bring or anything like that. So it was all trial and error going into it, honestly, for us.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about, what was the hardest for you guys in your first year of business, right? What were some of the challenges you needed to overcome that first year?
I think one of the things, I mean, that I found challenging was, understanding everything that went into the business side of it.
We're still
I'm
learning.
not, yeah, we're still learning. I'm not necessarily business person side of it. I'm more the creative talent, I guess. But she's the business side. So, financially looking what goes into it, what all you need to order, where to find the best prices, what's popular, things like that. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. A lot of people don't really think.
And networking. Like, we're not from Minnesota, we're not from this area, so we don't really know people. So finding people that will trust us and try our products and use it for their families. And I think that was a large hurdle, is just getting our name out there and having people trust us enough to try our stuff.
So you talked a little bit about your guys' separation of duties. Can you comment on kind of who's handling the business side, who's doing the marketing, the sales, who's doing the product development? How have you divided all that up amongst the two of you?
I think it's what we're good at.
Yeah.
I'm really good at coming up with different flavors. I design all the labels myself, all the flyers, all the marketing aspect of things. And when it comes to the financial side and the ordering and the inventory and the social media, those types of things can all fall on her because she's better at that stuff than I am.
Event planning, licensing,
Yep.
yeah, all that stuff.
So I get to do the fun things and she gets to do the not so fun things. But
Well, depending, those might be fun things for Erica.
no, very true.
Good. So, so you guys are married, you're starting up a business in COVID. Talk a little bit about what your work-life balance looks like as an entrepreneur getting a business up and going.
I mean, we're still struggling with that. On top of, so up until now, we've both worked full time, and the business has been kind of our side seasonal
Wow.
business. Now we're getting to the point where Jaden has just left his full-time position and the business is going to be his full-time. And I'm still a teacher, so I'm still maintaining my full-time gig. So yeah, it's kind of scary and uncharted territory right now with, losing that secured income every month. But, we have faith in ourselves and each other and our products, and we're just hoping that this is the right move for us. And we've kind of grown organically, and it hasn't been like too much too fast. So I feel like it's kind of the right time to make this change.
Well, and we have 4 kids too, so we've really kind of included them in the business. I mean, some of them are interested a little bit more than the others are, but they enjoy taste testing and helping us mix up the product and getting everything ready to go. So I mean, that's been fun. It's definitely a legit family business. Like, everybody's got their hands in it. So
Yep, they love to work events with us. And it's great they get to work the cash register, work on their math skills, get to tie it all in together.
Well,
but
that's
I
really
think
cool.
the fun part about it too, like she's mentioned, it has been all organic. We've taken out no business loans. We've done this all on our own, starting small and maybe a little too small compared to what I'd like to start out at. But we've started from the bottom and really kind of worked our way up to where we can financially make it grow a little bit more and go in the direction that we've seen it going.
So talk a little bit about your go-to-market strategy. Are you guys selling through retail? Are you wholesaling? Are you selling through distributors? Talk a little bit about what that aspect, your go-to-market business strategy looks like.
So up until last summer, it was just straight to customer. We'd make it either sell online or at vendor events, farmers markets. Um, so like we started at farmers markets, then we moved to vendor events and online on our website. Last year, we got our wholesale license, so we are able to produce and make it for different grocery stores and butcher shops. And that again it's hard to get your foot in the door for those things. So we are in one Hy-Vee in Rochester and one butcher shop. But it's really hard to, break through those barriers. And then at the same time, you have all that competition right on the shelf. We're not there to tell you why you should try our products or ask questions to get to know our customers and see what their flavor preference is, what kind of, if they have allergies, if they have different things that they're trying to stay away from, where we can guide them in the right direction and help them make those healthier, better choices. So we really feel like selling to grocery stores leaves us a little disconnected from our customer base. And I think we're leaning away from that now. And we are looking to do just keep it direct to customer. We like to keep those connections, make sure our product maintains the quality, because once you sell to a grocery store, it can sit on that store for a year. We lose control at that point. Whereas if we're controlling it, we can still make it in small batches and make sure that you get a high quality product every time.
I think retail is definitely our next step, though. Something that we're really pretty serious about, hoping to kind of go in that direction here very soon. So.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us. The other thing I wanted to ask you about is, how are you guys staying innovative or maybe adaptive to change in the space? What are some of the things that you're doing or the techniques you're using?
A lot of the things I do is I'll research different flavor trends that are going on. I'll follow a lot of newsletters with regards to like the food industry, and kind of see what the it flavor is for the month. I mean, or for the year even. I think, for example, we created a cherry cola barbecue seasoning, just off of some research that I did, that nobody else was doing it. There were companies that were thinking about it, but nobody had come out with it yet. And I mean, these are the big, big companies that everybody knows. So I quick kind of threw a recipe together and tried it out, and it was awesome. So we quick put it on the market and can kind of boast that we're the only company in the country right now with an all natural cherry cola barbecue seasoning. So, I mean, things like that, just trying to see what people want and what's popular, and, on the health aspect of things, what ingredients work the best, what ingredients are good for you. Turmeric's really good for you. So we'll put that in some of our blends just because it adds good flavor, it adds good color, and, it's good for your body. So, there's little things like that research-wise I'll try and do to give people a little bit easier option or an easier chance of, finding what they like or what they're looking for.
So he says quick, but the turnaround time's usually about 4 to 6 months by the time we find a flavor that we want to bring to market. We develop our recipe, we figure out the label, because he is a perfectionist and he will change things 5 or 6 times. So usually the first 5 times he's like, how do you like this? I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Because I know he's going to change it 2 to 3 more, improve it. And,
Well, and that's the thing too. It isn't just flavors that I research. It's, what are other companies doing? What do their labels look like? Do they use bright colors? Do they use big words? Do they use, different fonts? Do they use things that are going to draw people's attention? So I'll, research that and kind of see what works. And I mean, we've gotten compliments on our labels saying that they look, super professional. And I've never had a day of marketing experience or
he's missed his calling.
Graphic design or anything like that. It's just something that I've always thought was fun to do, was create. So, I mean, that's kind of, the research that I do, to kind of stay ahead of the trends, I suppose.
Keeps it competitive.
Well, and I would think now that Jaden's in the business full time, maybe that 4 month cycle will shrink down a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
It should.
Cracking down.
It should. I mean, we
So-
have 11 new flavors coming out here very soon. So,
Wow.
I mean, I'm always coming up with different things. So.
That's really good. So, could you guys maybe just offer us a glimpse into your future plans and goals that you have for your business? And in this case, right, you've been doing this now 4 years, right? What maybe does the next 4 years look like, or what does success look like in the next 4 years for you guys?
Well, definitely moving into retail for sure. The town that we live in, Wabasha, is right on the Mississippi River. It's where the National Eagle Center is located. So tourism is huge here. So having, and we're half a block down from it. So having a retail space to touch those new customers and, get them to take our product to whatever state they came from and expand that way is huge. I know that she would like to, get into a bigger space that has a commercial kitchen attached to it, so we can, produce in the back and move everything to the front, very easily. So
Right now we have 2 different spaces that we have. We have our wholesaling production space, and then we have our, I would say storage space, but a spot where we can keep everything and get our orders ready, and like a office type space. So yeah, definitely merging those 2, and just keep growing, keep reaching new people. And
I don't know if we're completely in with, moving to be as big as McCormick or, those types of companies, because I think if we got to that point, we would lose our connection with our customers. And I think that's one thing over the last 4 years that's, I think, made us successful, was having that. Like she said, if somebody brings up to us, hey, you guys should try a such and such seasoning. All right, we'll give it a shot. I get to create a new label. So for me, that's fun. And then I put a recipe together and we try it out. And we've actually had a lot of flavors created based off of what our customers were looking for.
yeah, they would travel and, oh, we tried this, and they would take pictures of different labels. Can you try and recreate this for me?
Or somebody would say, I have this really good Cajun seasoning from XYZ company. Do you guys have a Cajun seasoning? No, but we can make one. So I would create the label and I'd put the recipe together, and we'd have the Cajun seasoning out next time we went out. And, that's how things come and go flavor-wise for us. So
we've created recipes for food trucks.
Yep, we've done recipes for food trucks. We've created recipes for schools, things like that for fundraising and all that type of stuff too. So.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're having a lot of fun with it, so that's really good.
Get my thoughts together.
Okay, do you want to start from asking the question over?
3, 2, 1. So knowing that this show is targeted towards people who are in their first few years of business or thinking about starting up their own business, what final thoughts or words of wisdom would you like to offer to our audience today?
Hey, well, love what you do. For sure, have a passion for what you're doing, because it's going to be full of high and lows. You're going to get kicked down 150 times. You have to be brave and don't be afraid to get creative and really put yourself out there. And despite the 1,000 no's, the 5 yeses that you get is going to be fantastic and feel amazing. We've made so many friendships and connections over these last 4 years that we never would have had before. I mean, it's been a whirlwind, but just have resilience, don't give up, keep pushing forward and trying new things. And yeah, I don't know, what do you say?
And I think I'll go a little off of that. I know that probably a couple months before we were actually voted best new veteran-owned business in the Midwest, I was on the verge of just being done with it. I was discouraged, and it didn't feel like we were moving at all. The direction we were going in wasn't what I saw it. But I mean, you have those periods where, you know, there's a lull, and then you just move forward and you know, see what works and what doesn't. And that's what we did, and that's what we continue to do. It's all trial and error. So,
Yeah.
you know, don't get discouraged, and you know, really work at it. You know, there's going to be times where you're not going to know who to talk to or who to tell your business to, or you know, it's going to feel like nobody's really paying attention
Or nobody cares.
anymore. But there's people out there, you know, there's loyal customers that really do care, and you know, they're the reason that you do it. So for us, I mean, it's always just been try not to get discouraged, and that's hard to say, but that's the key for it too. I think is just not getting discouraged.
And don't be afraid to ask questions. You
Yeah.
know, like find other people in your industry and ask questions, and ask the stupid questions. And most people are willing to share what they know to help someone else not make the same mistake. And those are vital people.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's great advice. So thank you so much for your time today, Erica and Jaden. It was great meeting you and learning
Thank
more
you.
about your entrepreneurial journey. And to everyone watching, I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.